Somebody's been, well, they were throwing away these retro beauties. I think we can find a home for them inside the tiki hut. I've got my fingers crossed that I might be able to fit them in underneath that that high table that I've got, that sort of high spritting table for the potatoes. Let's give them a whirl, eh? Let's give them a whirl. There you go. They could have been made for it. Fit nicely under there. I can put some stuff on top of them as well. Maybe tuck some bits and pieces on top of them. I think they're great. I think they're alright. There's nothing wrong with them. They're brand new. Give them a wipe down at the front. A couple of little scuff marks on them. Give them a wipe. I'm thinking about painting all this in a magnolia colour. When I can get some panelling, some hardboard, I'll panel all this out. If I can get hold of any Kingspan offcuts, which is the insulation board offcuts, I'll put some insulation board offcuts in the Kingspan, and I'll board that out and I'll paint it all a magnolia colour in here, like Vivi, from what Vivi did next. Like her shed, I'll get some bunting up around there. I'll get her to make me some bunting like that colour. I'll do it. I'm going to do that. It'll be nice and bright in here then. It'll look lovely in here. In the tiki hut. Not them chests of drawers there. And them. I'll sort the handles out on them. Maybe give them a lick of paint as well, so it's all kind of matching up. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking about doing in the tiki. Remember, look after that. We are stewards of God's creation, us farmers and allotmenteers. Good words them. Earth, the planet on which we live. You only get one. We haven't inhabited Mars as yet, and I don't want to. I want to live here. So let's look after it. Grow our own fresh organic vegetables. I've just chucked some polycarb over. There's clear polycarb under there as well, Mick. And I've chucked over whatever wood I had. It's a mixed bag, but there's some nice long lengths there you can play about with and fill some gaps with and what have you. Alright. Yin yang. Yeah, reuse, repurpose, recycle. Save the earth. You live in it. Your kids do. It's a no-brainer. No-brainer. For me. Okay. We'll crack on. So Magical Mick Derbyshire is creating that extension to the shed, and it's fantastic. I really like it. He's trying to finish the door off and do some patching in. So got sliding windows down the side. When we get a chance, I'll show you that properly. But he's doing some sterling work there. As I say, I've given some wood there. Some scrap wood and what have you, and bits and pieces that we had knocking about at the back that I don't particularly need. I could have done with that long bit, but it's all for a good cause. Crack on, pal. So we're filling up the big 10-litre watering cans, and as we're doing that, the kettle is on. So I'm going to have myself a brew. So we're watering up now, and the hose pipe, the site tap is up there, about 40 yards up there, past Joe's plot over there. So we're running it down into that, which is leaking like a sieve and needs to be fixed on the spool. That's connected into the these sort of like flexible pipes. I can't speak. The flexible hose is fixed into there. That's running down there, and it's filling up our water butts. But because that's leaking like a sieve, I've stuck it on the roof, and so it's coming off the roof, off the felt, and into there. I've got a leak there as well. I've noticed that there's a couple of splits that I'm going to have to sort out, and what I'll do with that is when I get some more of the felt, I'll run the felt underneath the existing felt, tuck it under, and fix it in with staples so that it's going directly into that. It's not actually going into that, well it is, but there's splits, as you can see, there's holes, and that's where the drips are coming from, and I hate wasting water. even if it's a few drips. I don't like it. But that's going into the, filling those up while we're filling that up. So we're killing two birds with one stone, really. There. I might leave it leaking. It's mixed, that, anyway. Magical Michael's lent us that because ours has gone walkabout. We don't know where it's gone. There may be a thief afoot. It's my fault probably for leaving it out, like, you know. They're all good lads down here, lads and lasses down here, but there's always one or two, isn't there? Well, that's going into there, filling that up, and we'll just chop them all off. And top these off. Now these are going to get the fresh water treatment. They're going to all be filled up with the tap water, and then left in the polytunnel overnight. And what that'll do is during the day, the heat in the polytunnel will warm those so that they're like quite warm, like bath water sort of temperature. And then overnight, the thermal mass is released, and it keeps the temperature 1 or 2 degrees, maybe if we're lucky, higher than it would be overnight. If that makes any sense. But yeah, they're going to be going into the they're going to be going in there, mate. Yeah, so we're running the hose from all the way down there. It's coming all the way up the plot, all the way to the very top, and I've just stuck it in there, and that's going down there, as you can see, filling up the other butt at the back. I sound like I'm from St Helens. What's wrong with me tonight? The other butt at the back. Yeah, I'll have to work on that. So yeah, everything's watered up now. Now these are going to have to swallow the hurry up pill, these beetroots and radishes, because as you can see there, the potatoes, this is our main crop bed, and you can see the potatoes that were planted 15 inches down into that bed, very close to the bottom. They were planted down here. The seed potatoes in the middle. Now they should be growing all in the middle here, but they're coming up, bursting up around the sides. And yeah, the radishes that we put in, which were the bright lights radishes, the multicoloured radishes, are going to be in a bit of jeopardy if they don't hurry up. They don't take very long at all to grow, the radishes, but those spuds are just romping along. Oh, I've got to wait. Is that a wayward? That looks like one of the raspberries that coming through the middle there. Got plenty of horse's tail and bindweed coming up, and I weed this probably every time I come up. It's a constant battle. I'm going to take all of those out from the sides there. They only got all the weeds coming out. Like I said, there's so much to do on an allotment plot and so little time at the moment because we're restricted to time. I mean, I would have beheaded all of those dandelions, but I haven't had the time. Right, that strawberry plant's getting to be a bit of a droopy draws. It's not getting any water. It's in the dry tray. It was getting loads before, but now it's not. So I'm going to be careful with that because there's a strawberry coming on it, and I don't want to lose it. So we'll get some water in there. Those are the bottoms of the buckets when we did the bottomless buckets in there. Which, by the way, by the look of these, overnight they've bounced on overnight. Them. It was only last night. I better move that out of the way. Was it last night or the night before when I did them? I can't remember. I think it was last night, weren't it? Anyway, they're bouncing along. So I'm going to put the put a bit of water in that, like I've done there. Again, that was drooping. That was in the dry tray. So that's drooping now. It wants a bit of a drink. The plants tell you when they want a drink. That's a giant pumpkin that Mick started off, and we're just going to see if we can revive him and bring him into much rampants. But yeah, first I'm going to just put some water into here. And leave that for another 3 days or so, 3 or 4 days. Let it crack on. I'm going to put some tomato feed into there now. It's only had about a litre taken out of it, so I'm going to put a cap and a half of tomato feed in that, and then gently feed these from the top. And these, I'll give them all about half a litre with the feed in. So I'll do that now, yeah. So yeah, because they've got the first trusses coming on them, now is the time to feed. Give them the first gentle feeding. And yeah, I've just done that one as well down there, but not the others because they've not got the flowers on as yet. I think that was the daddy of them all anyway. That was the tall one. That'll need to be tied on to the. I'll get rid of a couple of the leaves as well and let it single stem up, and then pinch it out when it gets about here. When the growing tip gets to about there, and so yeah, there we go. I've given the strawberry plant a go as well. I've let him have some tomato feed because it'll not do him any harm. And yeah, these have bounced along. I'm sure they weren't that big yesterday. They weren't that big yesterday, those. Definitely not as big as that yesterday, them. Which is weird. I suppose they are growing, but they don't grow. They've grown about a centimetre and a half since yesterday, then, for sure. Yeah, so they filled up those 7-litre pots with the clean, fresh tap water left overnight. By tomorrow night, it'll all have dissipated the chlorine that's in them. And overnight, then, I'm not going to water up tomorrow. It's going to be the next day. They'll overnight release the thermal mass from the hot water. It gets really quite warm. It's like bath temperature water. And through the night, then, for the first 3 or 4 hours of the night, that'll release its heat gradually and just create a slightly warmer environment around your beds. We'll get the last one in up there now, up at the top. So yeah, there'll be one between each of the beds there. I mean, it can't hurt, can it? I've heard more than one person on these plots doing the same trick. Steve Piper, who gets the best plot more often than not. He uses that trick. He fills up his polytunnel with them. He has about 20 or 30 of them in. So yeah, give it a whirl. See you later, boys and girls. It's that green thumb. It's that green thumb. Have I got a green thumb? I've got a dirty thumb. A gangrene thumb. So yeah, that's what we've been up to tonight. As I say, we've not really got much time. Obviously, it's in the week and I've been working. I finished work at about 6 o'clock. Logged off at about 6 o'clock tonight. And got down here. We've got a couple of hours, but once we've filled our barrels up and all that, so that's why I do things in between doing that. What I initially did is out of the tanks down at the bottom, I emptied all of those out or drew water out of all of those first. So they didn't overflow when we put the leaky pipe on the top of them. And so yeah, that's what I did. I filled all the watered everything up with the water that was out of those two water tanks, 3 water tanks down the bottom. They're all full to bursting now from the leaky holes on the top, and all the barrels are topped off. So that's fine. If we get any drought conditions, we can always use that now and then. But essentially, there we go. We're not using that much water. The only thing I use fresh water for is the baby plants. So while the youngsters in here, that's what I use. I didn't use it on these. I use the rainwater, and as you can see, it's full of the algae. So I'm going to clean that out tomorrow, and it's coming on the top there. Look, that's what's causing. That's the rainwater. So yeah, because obviously it's not sterile water that comes from the rain. It has the sort of spores of the algae or whatever it is in the rainwater, and that's what you get. You get the greenness, which you don't particularly want. So they're going to be cleaned out tomorrow, and fresh, clean tap water is going to be going into there. If you can't get hold of fresh, clean tap water, then you just got to use what you use. But it's just better for them at this stage, at this initial stage. And anything that I'm growing inside the polytunnel, I'm going to try and keep the fresh water in use inside the polytunnel, because obviously you get the moisture build up, and you've got more chance of blight if the water isn't sterile water. But I don't use it straight from the tap. Turn around so you can get a better lighting on my fizzog. Don't use it straight from the tap because of the chlorine content in it. So because I've filled up those watering cans now with the fresh water, they'll be left in here overnight, and it'll only be used in here tomorrow night once I've cleaned those out, and then the chlorine will have dissipated, or at least dissipated sufficiently not to be an issue. But it will be then still clean, warm water that's going into the trays, so it doesn't shock the roots and things like that, and you get the thermal dynamic benefits. Sounds like he knows what he's going on about, doesn't he? So because I research it and I look at people who are doing it, that's what you need to do. I suppose you guys are looking at me. I look at a lot of the other growers as well, and we comment on each other's shows, and that way we're spreading the word about the Growers Revolution and encouraging people to grow fresh organic vegetables and fruit. Nothing wrong with that. Which is the way forward. I'm Guru Mafinder. If I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window. And remember, keep growing with your head down. Whatever you may be able to grow, do it, grow it. And yeah, we love you all. Namaste. Bye-bye now.